Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading from me, JP. This is Junodrome Tarot from Junodrome Arts. Welcome, welcome. So today we have a bit of a different one going on here. So today we're going to be doing a reading on A Little Birdie Told Me, right? I've done one of these before and it was really fun. It was a while ago. So I'm pulling this one back out, but I like it. It's what are the birds whispering about for you, right? So what are the birds chatting about you? It's not going to be just about messages about you. Maybe it's about you. Maybe it's for you, somewhere along there. So we have 3 different piles for you to choose from. In a moment, I'll give you a little bit of extra time to choose your pile number 1, 2, or 3. So choose the one that's calling out for you. And there are some deep messages from the birds here for you. What are the birds chirping about for you? Let's find out. Okay, down below in the description section of this video, you can find a link to your reading. See you there. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading for what is a little birdie telling you, right? A little birdie told me something about you, something for you. Let's see what the bird has to say. So you chose the card with this cardinal here. And cardinals are interesting. They symbolize a lot of things. You know, they're the red in the snow, which is beautiful. A lot of times, too, they can represent loved ones who have passed on. I know a lot of people use the cardinal to represent that. So it just depends on for you and your situation. We'll see in this reading whether or not I feel like it's going to be about a passed on loved one or not. I don't always do readings like that. But we'll see. It could just be messages for you. So we'll take a look. The back of this card says, nature always wears colors of the spirit. Yeah, so definitely, birds in general to me tend to represent signs from our spirit team, our spirit guides, those beings, entities that want to speak directly to us. Sometimes they can send messages in the form of birds. And so I think for us today, there is, in this particular reading, pile number 1, some really important messages coming from spirit, from the spirit world. However you want to conceive of it, from the universe maybe, or particularly from some departed loved one, potentially. Like, I'd say that with a grain of salt because, that's a very touchy subject for people. So take that for whatever you need it to be. But let's find out. Let's find out. What does this bird want to tell you? Okay, I don't always do it this way, but I'm going to start with our Shamanic Healing Oracle to get kind of a general outlook of this reading. And we have Ancient Wisdom. So there's very important wisdom coming to you here that's very old. Look at all these trees. It's like the wisdom of the earth is coming to speak to us today as well. So there's some very deep, powerful energy looking to speak to us. A lot of nature and trees coming in. You see there's a tree as well. The bird sits on the tree. So there's some trees coming in here too. It's funny. I almost did a messages from the trees reading. So it's a little bit of a combo, it looks like. That's kind of fun. That's funny. Ancient wisdom. What is the earth wisdom? What's the magic that's coming into this reading? Let's see. We're going to start with tarot from the Smith-Waite deck. We have the 5 of Swords. We have the Moon. We have the 8 of Wands. And we have the Knight of Wands. More trees I'm seeing trees here. Sorry, just give me a moment. I'm just processing these. What is it that I'm feeling right now with this? It's like don't be dejected, don't be distraught, don't be upset at the unknown. Don't be angry at the unknown, howling at the moon. Um, there's a bit of an inner anguish here that I'm interpreting from you, maybe. Pile number one. That's sort of this anger at the mysteries of things, this deep set underlying frustration surrounding the things that haven't worked out for you in the past, the things that you don't know about, the things that remain a mystery. And couple things about that. I think, the birds are coming in to help alleviate some of this suffering a little bit. The thing about emotions, particularly the challenging ones, is we can't really pretend that they aren't there, right? Um, so when you feel frustrated about things, when you feel upset, um, that's okay. That's okay. There's an importance in that, and it's okay to feel all that you need to feel. I'm looking at the lobster here, which, in this particular card can summarize emotions and those painful, challenging emotions, right? Think about crying. When you cry, a lot of times, in the moment, it can be challenging, but there's also a release that comes from the tears, right? And at the end of the crying, when you're done, there can be a sort of a feeling um, of like you feel better after crying because you release that, right? And so there is a bit of a release energy coming in here into this reading, to come help alleviate some of your suffering a little bit, the spirit that's present is with you along this journey that you've been on. And I think there's a long journey here that I'm feeling with this reading of a long and winding road here that keeps going and going and going, and there's a part of you that is sort of questioning whether, is any of this leading to anything? Is any of this worth it? Am I going to get to where I want to go? Am I going to be alone when I get there? Right? If I'm alone now, am I going to find the right people? These kinds of things. And, there's speed and there's movement towards things that lift you up in life that are present in this reading, but it's almost like those are an aside right now. If you're feeling like you're a little bit lost, that's okay, right? And I know that's not something that's necessarily something you want to hear, but it's okay to be where you are right now, even if you're not happy about where you are right now, right? Because like life moves in phases, and it moves in waves, and it moves in cycles. And so wherever you are in this moment, that doesn't mean that you will always be there. And in fact, um, the reality of existence is that you won't always be there, right? Things will move, things will change. The world will turn into something else. The cycles will create a new beginning, a new movement, a new time. And there's a bit of this like wandering energy, and it's like a angry wandering that I think you might be doing now, or you feel that you're doing, right? Where you're like, well, what's my direction even? Where am I even headed now? Maybe you ended a cycle recently that's left you confused and unresolved. I'm feeling a bit of that energy here, like an unresolved misunderstanding that's leaving you feeling blocked or lost, you know. If this is a passed on loved one, this isn't for everybody because this is a general reading, but if it is that, maybe there's some unresolved nature with this person. Doesn't have to be that. Like I said, it could be anything. There's some kind of conflict potentially from the past has gone unresolved, and it's left you feeling lost, and it's left you feeling like you're just sort of wandering around now without really understanding anything. And there's a sense here with the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands that it's almost like you don't need to be wandering here. You can choose to follow whatever direction you want for yourself, right? That you can give yourself permission here to have a goal in life, to have a destination. And maybe you tried to do something in the past and that thing didn't work out, and maybe that's leaving you feeling like nothing you can do can work out, and it's leaving you feeling like, well, what's the point of even bothering to try to plan something for my future if it's not going to even work out in the end? Or why should I even try to dream of something for my future when everything is just going to fall apart anyway? I'm getting that kind of feeling here. Or what's the point of imagining a future when I just feel like everything is a mystery now? And how can I have a future without this person? Or whatever. Take it as it resonates for you, but there is this deep feeling of unresolved stuff here. And a couple things are important in that. First of all, it's okay to be in that place, and it's okay to feel what you need to feel from that place. But there is possibility open to you in your future, and there's possibility open to you in the present. It's not even about the future. It's not, well, maybe someday. It's actually right here, right now for you. After you can move through some of this a little bit, it's okay to be in the unknown, even though the unknown is hard and challenging. You don't need to know everything for the future. All you need to know is, all you need to do is awaken the inspiration that's lying dormant within you, because it's there. With the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands, it's like when you can tap into that place, because it's a place within you that exists where you can imagine the sunset here. The pyramids can talk about ancient wisdom too. So we have ancient wisdom a couple places. So it's almost like there's something ancient from the past that can help you with this. So maybe if you are really encountering some difficult, challenging emotional things right now, maybe there's some ancient wisdom from some kind of lineage, or some kind of past events, or some kind of in the depth and breadth of human knowledge. Remember, human beings in our modern form, we've existed for 100,000 years, and modern civilization in its general form has existed for the last 12,000 years. We've been on this planet for a long time. People have come up with different ideas and coping mechanisms and understandings of things for generations and generations and generations. And so there might be some wisdom from past beings that could help you in whatever situation you're in right now. Bring you inspiration, maybe being inspired by the past. Maybe, maybe, looking at art from the past, ancient art. If you have access to any kind of museum, or even if you don't, if you can do research online, there's some kind of like epiphany or aha moment for some people here that would come from looking at ancient artwork or ancient ancient techniques of something. I don't know if you're looking. Some people here might be looking to create something or looking for direction in some kind of creative venture or some kind of process or some kind of project or some kind of something. And there's some kind of wisdom in the past that could help with that area. And that's really specific, so not everybody's going to feel that way. But there's some kind of, it's like it's not your first rodeo here, right? So maybe this is some kind of reincarnation message for some people too, where it's like you've been in this world before, you've been in this place before. For a lot of people, maybe this is for most people, I'm not sure. It's almost like, take this as it resonates. You don't have to believe in reincarnation, but I do, and sometimes I feel it. It's almost like this is a place you've gotten to in many lifetimes. This sort of, oh well, here I am again. I kind of getting that feeling, and it's almost like a lost feeling, but there's an importance in facing this in this lifetime, and I feel like maybe this is an opportunity for you to finally face this ancient loop that you might be caught in right now, where you can actually finally let go of some of this past life circumstance where you might be continuously entering a period where you feel lost. Maybe there's actual direction that can be found here. And maybe that's why you're in a place of being lost, so you can learn how to create your own inspiration to move forward. A lot of times, especially just the way we grow up in the world that we live in, it's very easy to look outside ourselves for direction and to think, well, the world says that I need this, and the world needs more people like this, so I'm going to be like that so that I can meet the needs of the world. When in reality, we can't turn ourselves into what other people want. We are ourselves first, and sometimes it takes actual practice to get to learn this, but after a while, it's sort of like you start to learn, and this is something that I've learned in my own life in this journey. So it's just coming from a place of personal knowledge. You get to this point where you realize that you don't have to be the chameleon, right? You don't have to turn yourself into somebody to be happy, because the more that you do that, the more lost you're going to end up feeling. And maybe that's something that you've been doing, and that maybe that's part of why you feel lost right now, is you've been trying to be what everybody else needs you to be. But in reality, you can't get rid of who you are underneath. And so learning how to become your own best friend instead of your own enemy is one of the first steps to creating peace for your own self, because ultimately the only person in this entire world that you can't get away from, that you have to be with always, is yourself. And that self is the self that is reflected in the world lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, right? This is a larger journey. So sometimes, even if you don't 100% believe in reincarnation, like I said, well, I didn't say this, but I'm going to say this. I don't know if any of us on this planet can ever truly know the actual nature of it all. We can only guess, and we can only have feelings on things. But if you use reincarnation for a metaphor, think of yourself as being much, much larger than just the sum of events that you've been through in this life. What's the larger cosmic journey of your being? And that being is who you are. You're not necessarily the negative thoughts jumping around in your mind here. So the more that you can connect to that deeper person that is you, the more that you can do that, the more that you can learn to create a positive relationship with that person. And then even if you're wandering in the wilderness here, in the darkness, just by embracing that connection, you might start to find an inspired pathway forward. And you don't have to have everything figured out. You are a spiritual being wandering the cosmic wilderness. This isn't even just your personal life here. This is greater than that. This is bigger than that. So if you were a cosmic being wandering the universe, exploring realities, and you found yourself in this reality, what would you do? How would you move forward in this reality? Not a human being who has to find a career and has to be happy in their job. No, that's all incidental. This is much bigger than that. This is the cosmic journey of all things. And you are a sentient entity that can become aware of its cosmic situation, and through that awareness can make choices to explore anything and everything. So what kind of exploration could you do? How can you liberate yourself from the bounds of the limitations that the series of events that have been your life thus far has made you think are there? Those limitations are simply manifestations of thought in the mind. In reality, you are much grander than that. So how can you liberate yourself by connecting to the greater beingness that is you? And through that, what would you do? If you had no limitations whatsoever, none at all, and I know the world is made up of limitations, so I get it, but pretend for a minute that money wasn't an issue, that health wasn't an issue, that time wasn't an issue, that place wasn't an issue, that age wasn't an issue. There were no issues. Let's pretend there were no issues at all. And you could do anything and be anything and go anywhere and do whatever. What would you do? What would you do? What's the first thing that pops into your head? Now that thing may very well be an aspect of what you need for yourself. And it's easy to get stuck in the limitations of, well, I can't do that now. And, oh, I'm too old. I don't have enough money. I haven't lived enough experience. Nobody will let me, blah, 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 right? I'm not saying that in 24 hours you have to have all of this. No, that's not possible necessarily. Maybe for some people. But maybe that thing is the destination for you. And maybe there's a few steps that you can start taking on that journey to figure that out for yourself. Because ultimately, This isn't something that, we always want to hear, but there will come a point where you will no longer have the ability to make choices and movements in this life, right? You will die at some point, as will I, as will everyone around you, as will everyone around me. And that will be the end of this journey. And like I said before, I do believe in reincarnation. I think there's more opportunities, but there's no opportunities, there will be no more opportunities as you in this form, in this moment, in this time. Not to scare you, obviously, right? I'm not saying you're running out of time. Remember, imagine you had all the time in the world. Imagine time was not a limitation, even though we know that it is. But imagine that it wasn't. What would you do? So how are you going to feel happy about you if you were to look back on it all? What would you do? So it's just something to think about. Let's look. We got more cards. We got the Two of Wands. Got the Son of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. It's two knights. Got the Ten of Cups. Ultimate happiness. That's beautiful. And we have the World. Yeah. Ultimate happiness is available to you if you give it to yourself, right? Easier said than done. I completely understand that. But ultimate happiness is not something that has to be achieved or found in a place. It's a state of being that exists within you that can be unlocked in this moment, regardless of the situations and the circumstances that you find yourself in. It is possible for you to open up ultimate happiness into your being right here and right now. And so you have the opportunity with this reading in this moment to find it within yourself and to create an opening to move yourself forward. With the Two of Wands, it's like there's an opportunity to travel inner and outer, to open yourself up to the greater reality of all that you are. And there's a lot of movement here. There's a lot of change. The Knights to me are always about moving. And it's a movement and a change in the mind, in the perspective, and in the inspirations that exist for you, right? So moving yourself from a place of feeling like there is no way forward, there is nothing forward moving for you, from that place to a place where you have infinite and open possibility to create anything for yourself, because you do. You really do. But it comes from learning how to see yourself as you are, the infinite being that is you. And there may be certain limitations in the place that you find yourself in this moment. But most of those limitations with the Son of Swords, they're products of the mind. Now, there may be physical limitations set on you right now. You may not have a lot of money in this moment. You may not have the best mobility in this moment. But you have the ability to make changes in your life, to take steps to change things. And so it may be change that's slow moving. It might be a slow thing, a little at a time, starting to research opportunities for money to flow into your life better, starting to look at opportunities to improve your health so that you can explore more, things like that. It might be small steps at a time, but you have agency in this moment while you are alive. You are not yet out of this world, right? You are in it and a part of it. And you have the agency and the power to make whatever movements you need for yourself. And I see a brand new chapter opening up for you with the World. The World talks about graduation. It talks about starting a new chapter in life. You have a new chapter available for you. It just comes from making the change. And the change is slow. Although we have swift moving action, so it's an exponential. It's an exponential kind of change. And this is kind of like, for me, when I was in my lost period, and I was very lost for a long time, I didn't get out of it immediately. right? And in hindsight, it actually took a few years to truly get out of it completely. But it was exponential movement. The hardest steps are the first few. Think about it like starting an avalanche. You want to start an avalanche toward a new reality for yourself. If you're going to do that, you gotta start with a tiny little snowball, and you gotta push that snowball a lot, and you gotta keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. But as you continue to push it, it gains more momentum, and then eventually it's a runaway effect, and you can let go, and it'll keep going, and it'll continue to grow into this massive, huge movement within yourself. So if you're going to start taking those baby steps, it's important and it's possible. It's just it's a matter of taking it from the future and bringing it into this moment. What can I do this moment to bring myself in the direction that I'm looking to go, a little at a time? How can I continue to bring myself where I want to go, a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit? But I do see this opening for you. I do see a new chapter. I do see a new moment in life for you. And if that seems really far off right now, that's okay. That's okay. You can take however long you need to create it for yourself. Yeah. So pile number one, I think that's the reading. I think I'm going to leave it there. This was an interesting one. I hope that it resonated for you. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it brings you some kind of insight into your life. If you're feeling lost, I mean, don't feel like you're alone. It's so easy when you're really lost, when we all are, to be super in solitude with it. And in that grander cosmic journey, we're all on our own cosmic journeys, but we're all doing it together here. You're not completely alone in this. Like I said, this is stuff that I've felt a lot in life, and in many, many, many of us do feel this. It's a part of being alive sometimes. So, there's community out there for you too. I feel that. If you feel like you've lost community in the past and you're on your own right now, there's community out there. There's community all around. The YouTube tarot community is a really beautiful, wonderful, open place. So you've got all of them. You got us here at Junodrome Tarot. We're a small community that's growing all the time. So feel free to leave a comment and comment on other people's comments too. Help build the community that is here. I want to be a space for that for us. On this journey through life, because we're all in it together, me and you. This is as much as I have a connection to being able to channel some of this wisdom and bring it through, and I've learned all that I have so far for myself, like I'm in this just as much as you are. I don't have all the answers, but that's okay. I don't need all the answers. You don't need all the answers. All you need is the spark, your inspiration, because it's there, and you can follow it and move with it wherever it needs to be, and that's okay. And if you don't feel like you're in a good place right now, that's okay too. It's okay to be exactly where you are. It's okay. So anyway, pile number one, that's it for me. I hope that it resonates. Let me know in the comments what you think either way. I love hearing from everybody. And yeah, comment on other people's comments, start discussions, start conversations. That helps us grow. It helps the videos grow, but it helps the channel grow and the community grow. And if you have any ideas for community building too, let me know. I'd love to help us all become a space of learning with each other, because there's a lot of really great dedicated people that keep coming back to this place, and I love talking with everybody. There's a lot of really great, I've met really wonderful friends through this place. So yeah, I'm here for you, you're here for me, we're all here for each other. Let's make this world a little bit better, right? Anyway, catch you later. Bye. Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP, and this is Junodrome Tarot from Junodrome Arts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we are doing a reading on Little Birdie told me. So, what are the messages coming, floating through the winds, making it to you, either about you, for you? Um, Important special messages coming from the birds. Today, for you guys, pile number 2, you chose the card with this beautiful owl, and it says, always seek mystery. So maybe we'll have some mysteries revealed with this reading here. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'm going to start with the Shamanic Healing Oracle. I did that for the last reading. It worked out really well. So let's take a look and see. For you, pile number 2, we have Inner Journey. Inner Journey. Okay, so there's a real importance for you in going within for something, right? And we have that mysteries unveiled. It's almost like, you think about owls as well. They're very wise, and they travel at night. We have Inner Journey. I'm getting a couple things from all of this so far. First of all, I think that maybe there's some important information that could come to you in dreams, in dreaming. So be open to learning new things from your dreams. There might be some important messages coming to you in them, as well as with this inner journey. It's like the wisdom that you're needing in this phase of your life, and whatever's happening in this moment for you, pile number 2. The important information in that is within you already, right? The answers that you seek are within. That's always not always the thing that we want to hear in a situation. I understand that. But for whatever reason, for you, there's something about you already having the answer here. You already knowing what's going on. So something about your situation, any questions you might be having, any maybe indecisive energy you might be feeling right now. If you're feeling indecisive about anything, if you're feeling like you can't make a decision, or that you don't know how to move forward in something, the deeper your inner self has the answers that you're seeking. And that's where you're going to find the most wisdom. That's where you're going to find the most information. So tuning into your inner being is going to be really, really important for you in this. So let's take a look at the tarot and kind of get a better picture on what this reading is about. We've got some cards from the... which one do I want to start with? Yeah, okay. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck we'll start out with. Let's see, we have the Queen of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Page of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Interesting. 2 sixes, lots of cups, as well as some other pentacle, swords, Hanged Man. Okay, so I do see a continuation of what I've already been saying a little bit. I do feel as though there may be some indecisive energy going on here, pile number 2. So you might be really questioning how to move forward in something. Now, these are messages coming from the birds here, from the owl. The owl wants to remind you of your own inner wisdom in this journey, right? And that, you've actually come quite a long ways here. With the Six of Swords, there's a sense that you've traveled a long distance to get to where you are, physically or spiritually, in your mind. You've gone through quite a bit of change. And maybe this sort of movement and this change is something you've come to rely on, that you've come to understand as a part of who you are. And so to be faced with a sense of being a little bit stuck in this moment might feel a little bit jarring for you. Take this as it resonates, but this is just sort of the stuff that I'm channeling, so I'm going to just roll with this. there's a sense here with the Hanged Man that you do feel a little bit like directionless, almost. Maybe you feel like you're wandering and you don't really know where you're wandering off to, right? That there's maybe a lack of a clear destination in mind, and that might be causing you some inner difficulty, some inner strife at the moment. And so there's a sense here of needing to trust yourself a little bit more here, of needing to trust that the fact that you've left certain situations is something that is ultimately for your highest good. I get the sense that this journey that you've been on, this movement that you've been on, has been something that is, needing to leave something challenging behind. With this card here, the Six of Swords can talk about that, leaving a difficult situation to find something better. And a lot of times, you may still be focused on the past of it, right? You're focused on the leaving part more than you are on the going part, where you're headed to. And I don't know if this was something that was recent or more a past energy. I do feel as though this was something that happened in the past here. I think you've already left a lot of things. You've already left a lot of situations. And I think maybe that initial leaving, there was some excitement in that because there was a lot of energy in moving, right? Just the fact that you moved somewhere different, you did something different, you walked in something different. There was a lot of release and excited movement and great energy in that moving into a new thing. But now I think maybe you feel a little bit more hesitant and a little bit more stuck with this Hanged Man, because maybe it's like, yeah, you moved out of something, you moved away from things, you changed your perspective a bit here with that inner journey, but now you're in a new place, and in that new place you're not entirely sure what to do now, what to do next, how to move from here. And with the Page of Pentacles, I'm getting a sense that you're actually in an opportunity now to rebuild the actual physical world around you. What does your physical life look like here? Are you in a new place physically? A new job, a new situation, a new better health again, a cleared sense of being. Right now, you have the ability to put in roots somewhere, but you're at the first stages of that, because I think you've already moved from something else. And so now, because of that, maybe you're a little bit unclear as to where to go from here, how to move from here, what to do in this new moment, because you're just thinking about where you've come from. You're thinking about the difficulties that you've been through, and you aren't necessarily seeing the possibilities ahead of you, or you're feeling like there's too much possibility and not enough certainty in specific directions. And so you have a little bit of advice here. The owl's coming in with advice on how to choose what to do next. The owl is coming in to let you know that you can take your you can take what? What can you take? Sorry, this is just interesting. You can take your time in choosing where you want to go next and what you want to do next. You can actually be and embrace the Hanged Man energy as an opportunity to learn new things, right? Look at this halo going around the Hanged Man here, right? That halo is spiritual wisdom. It's spiritual wisdom that's gained from him hanging himself upside down on this tree, right? It's the Hanged Man has gone upside down on purpose. He's chosen to hang himself here so that he can gain the spiritual wisdoms and insights that come from this particular spiritual practice of hanging yourself upside down. People don't necessarily do that as much these days, but it was something that people used to do in ancient times. If you look at Woden or Odin, the Norse god who hung himself upside down on Yggdrasil, the all tree, the tree of knowledge, the tree of interconnectedness. Um, he, the world tree. There we go. He hung himself upside down so that he could learn the runes and he could learn the ancient wisdoms and the mysticism. And this is an ancient mystic practice that some people did. Now, I don't necessarily think you should necessarily hang yourself upside down to gain wisdom, but I don't know, maybe. You could have one of those those chair things, right? That like you put you sit in it upright and you like tie your legs onto it and then you twist and then it spins you upside down so you're hanging upside down. Who knows? Maybe that'll help you. Not everybody, I don't think, but some people, maybe. But anyway, you don't have to do that. But this is just saying that symbol of hanging upside down, of taking yourself out of your normal routines, of taking yourself out of what you know, even if you don't know the answer now, it's the process of doing that that can help you see the answers. And so there's a sense in this reading of really setting yourself aside, taking the time maybe to do nothing, right? Maybe there's like nothing is happening in your life in this moment and there's a bit of a pause here, and maybe you're used to go go go, you're used to knowing what comes next, you're used to, well, I do this and then I do that and then I do this and I have this to do and I have that to do, and maybe all of those to-dos have disappeared for some reason or another. And yeah, you could add some in, but you're just not feeling it right now. And so there's a sense here of embracing that, of saying that maybe this is actually an opportunity for you to go within and to learn more about yourself on the inside, to gain a sense of inner wisdom and inner understanding in order to be able to move forward again. With the Queen of Cups, it's asking you to meet yourself as the Queen of Cups. In this process, if you feel stuck, if you feel lost, if you feel unknown, if you feel like there's a lot of challenges in front of you, or you feel you just don't know how to move forward, instead of meeting yourself from a place of discontent or anger or fear, or telling yourself, oh, I can't believe I'm not doing anything, I'm supposed to be doing this and this and I can't even do it, I'm so terrible, blah blah blah. Instead of meeting yourself with that negativity, meet yourself from a place of the Queen of Cups. And she is the most loving of the female cards in the entire deck, and so she has this deep mothering, nurturing love that transcends all things. She's deeply feeling. So, and there's an angel on this card, a couple little Cupid angels, and they're just jumping out at me, telling me to say something. So, you've got the angels on your side too. We've got birds here. Birds and angels are kind of connected in my mind. You don't have to believe in angels, that's fine. But some people do, including me. And if you want to, they're here to help. So that's the thing. But anyway, we've got, she's just coming in to let you know that you're exactly where you need to be right now. And that's always something that can either A, be hard to hear, or seems like, yeah, okay, I always hear that, blah blah blah, but I still feel discontent, right? Well, in reality, it's okay to be here wherever you are, because this is the only place you are, right? And that could be a little bit of a challenge too sometimes to think about, but it's true, right? You got to meet yourself where you are. Wherever you want to go in life, you have to meet yourself where you are, because if you don't, if you pretend like you're somewhere where you're not, first of all, you're not there. So, or if you just like, or instead of pretending, if you like tell yourself you should be somewhere else and get angry at yourself for where you are, well, you're never going to get to where you want to go if you don't see where you are, right? So send yourself love wherever you are, even if you feel stuck. And maybe that stuckness is a blessing in disguise and an opportunity for you to understand yourself better. Maybe this will come with insights in how to see a better path forward that might be something that could make you actually happy, instead of a situation where you're thinking it might make you happy but you don't know, but other people seem happy and you don't know. And one of those kind of situations where you're constantly waffling and asking, is this right, is this not, I don't know. Getting stuck in those states is not the most helpful place for you to be, because there's no certainty in it. And so it's like the owl is telling you to take a break here. Take a break and start to see the inside, right? The owl sees in the darkness, and they're able to see things, these little tiny details, from way, 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 way up high in an environment when no one else can see. So there's a sense of needing to embrace being in that darkness and learning how to see from the way that the owl sees, in a different sort of way, right? Using your instinct to allow yourself to move forward, using these new inner nudges, this connection to your own deeper spiritual wisdom, your inner self, your inner voice, can help you move forward. So take the time to be paused. There's a bit of a pause here in this reading that's a necessitated pause after moving away from something else. Now, I haven't talked about this yet, so I should. We have the Six of Cups here, and that is showing a little bit of an opportunity on how to move forward for you, where the answers on how to move forward are going to come from. And the Six of Cups talks about happy memories from the past and from childhood. And so there's a certain sense here of embracing childhood hopes and dreams. And, the things that made you happy as a child, there might be some glimmer of opportunity in that for your life now. And this paused moment that you're in might be an opportunity for you to learn how to bring back aspects from your life that were present in earlier moments for you. And learning how to bring those aspects back into this present moment for you, right? Where you are now. Not living in the past, not living in the future, but meeting yourself exactly where you are and accepting gifts from your past into the present. Now, we have more cards, so let's take a look. We've got 4 cards from the Wild Unknown Tarot. We've got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, all right. So another New Beginnings card. That's great. Wow, we have the Six of Cups again. So that having that come in twice, whenever a card shows up twice, that means it's the most important card for the reading. It means that is the main message for this reading. So that's great that it came up twice here. Let's keep looking though. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, all right. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So we've got more help here of direction, which is great. Now, as you take this paused moment, as you use this opportunity, and this is never necessarily an easy thing to do, so if you're having trouble with this, don't be too hard on yourself. But sometimes when we feel stuck, or we feel blocked, or we feel a little bit lost, it's a little counterintuitive, but the way forward from that place sometimes is actually embracing being in it. If you feel lost, be lost. Embrace lost. Be the best lost that you can be. If you feel stuck, embrace the pause. Embrace the stuck. All right, okay, I am stuck. Let me let go and be here and be stuck. Let me hang for a minute. Like, look at this Wheel of Fortune card. See how, knotted up this web is? It's like, you are tied in knots right now. All right, I'm going to be tied in knots. Let me be here. Let me not try to escape it, right? If you're in quicksand, right, the way to get out of quicksand isn't to fight it, it's to embrace it, right? So it's like there needs to be a little bit of that here in this energy of embracing being stuck, embracing being paused, embracing it, being in it. Because as you do that, things will start to come in for you. Ideas, ways of movement to move out of it will come in, and this new beginning is waiting for you here. And it's a new beginning towards happiness with this Ace of Cups, towards feeling better, towards embracing the emotional side of you. The cups are all about your emotions, your emotional being. So it's like there's a sense here of embracing the emotional needs that you have for yourself, and maybe there's been a lack of that here, and that's a part of where this pause is coming in, is sort of showing that maybe you've been blocking yourself from feeling challenging emotions, right? That happens sometimes. We feel like we can't just feel the things we need to feel. We need to be okay, and you know, and the thing about that though is those emotions don't go away. The only way that they go away is if we feel them, right? If we block our emotions instead of feeling our emotions, even if they're heavy or they're challenging or they're difficult, or they're not what we want, um, even if we don't, even if we feel if we don't allow ourselves to feel them, they just get buried within us, and then we don't know where the pain is coming from because it's lost and it's buried and it's unknown, and so then that can lead to even more challenges. That can lead to depressive states. That's a part of my own personal depression that I've been through. I've been through some really deep depression in my life, and getting out of it, undoing it, untangling my own inner web of it. I ended up coming face to face with unexpressed emotions that I hadn't allowed myself to feel after breakups and things like that, and difficult, challenging things. My coping mechanism for most of my life, and it's just something I'm still learning how to get away from, but for a lot of my life was to just ignore, to just bury, to pretend like it's not a problem. The issue with that is that it gets locked within you, and then it expresses itself in detrimental ways to your being, to your health, to your life. And so I get the sense here that maybe there are some challenging emotions that you need to move through here, potentially. So if that's the case, let them come. Let them come. It's not easy. If you need help, find help. If you need to talk them over with somebody, find a therapist or something like that. That can be very helpful. I've seen a therapist a few times in my life, and I'm always grateful and thankful for them that I did that, and to myself that I did that. So just keep that in mind as an aside. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune here, I think that there is true opportunity coming to you moving forward. And there will be direction coming to you moving forward as well. I do see that, and it's a new beginning towards these pentacles here. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost like this, another thing that's coming to you is you've already put an incredible amount of work into a certain area here. And so there's a sense with the Seven of Pentacles that that there be an embrace of the work that you've already put in. And I think that as you allow yourself to be paused and to let go and to take a step back, maybe the rewards from past work will actually just start spontaneously coming into your life in strange and unusual ways. And maybe the only reason they haven't started to come in yet is because you've been sort of blocking them from being here, because you've been trying so hard to force things into being instead of allowing what is to come in naturally. And that's easier said than done. That's a difficult thing. That kind of acting in surrender is very challenging. It's not an easy thing. But if you embrace surrender, you very well may be able to open yourself up to allowing this movement and inspiration on how to move forward. I think that there's true inspiration coming to you, pile number 2. It's just a matter of quieting your mind, quieting your heart, listening to your inner voice, your inner guidance, learning how to hear your inner guidance, right? Think about that owl, right? The owl sees differently than we do. It sees at night in a different way. So it's learning how to see in the darkness, learning how to see in the unknown. It's a new sense that you're developing here, pile number 2. You're developing a new ability to see how to move forward, and it's coming from a different place than what you're used to. It's not the analytical mind saying logically, oh, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, everyone else who does X, Y, and Z is able to achieve ABC. So if I want to get to ABC, I need to do X, Y, and Z just the way that so-and-so did, and another person did. And I'm going to do exactly what they do without listening to myself and just going to do it and see how it happens, right? Maybe that's not the way to move forward anymore. Maybe the way to move forward is to learn how you do things. It's to learn how you need things. It's to learn how you operate individually and uniquely, and it might be strange and other people might not understand it at all, and that's okay, because it's not how they do things, it's how you do things. It's not how they need things, it's how you need things. So develop your own sense of self here, your own sense of understanding, your own sense of what your needs and your needs are. And that will help you be able to move yourself forward, and move yourself out of any difficulties and challenges. Yeah. So anyway, pile number 2, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that was a good reading for you. I hope that it gave some kind of insight into your situation. I hope that it helps you move forward. Just as an aside, I do think there's a bunch of choppy water and then there's the smooth water, right? So I do think that you're moving away from the choppy water phases and moving more towards smooth, open seas. So embrace that as it comes. That's a challenging thing to embrace, but it's present for you if you want to find it. Yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think either way. I love hearing from everybody. Yeah, be sure to leave a comment if you want, and comment on other people's comments too. Like if you want to start discussions and when you want to start building understanding with each other, if you have any advice for everyone that this reminds you of, or you want to talk about what part of your life this makes you feel or anything, always feel free to do so. I want to try to help us build a real community together here. And that's always kind of been my goal with this channel. And as I move forward with it, I want to be able to do that. So yeah, feel free to do that. Let me know what you think. And that's it for me. I hope you have a wonderful day, pile number 2, and I will see you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the reading with this beautiful red-winged blackbird. And so today we're doing a little birdie told me. So what does the whisperings from the birds, the chattering from the bird spirits want you to know today? So we'll find out. For you, we've got speak your truth here on the back of this. So there's an importance in speaking up, saying what you need to say, not being afraid to talk about your life, what you need for yourself, not being afraid to speak into the world your truth, the things that can only be said through you, right? We are all unique individuals here on this planet, and each and every one of us has something individual and unique to say. And so it's important for you to find a way to embrace who you are, where you are, what you are, and enjoy that and share that joy with the world, because who you are in the uniqueness of you is not only important and necessary, but it's a part of this world that needs to be shared. You are a part of this world that needs to be shared, and excuse me, you can think of yourself in that way. Pile number 3. It's important to think of yourself as an integral, intimate, important piece of the puzzle that is this world that we live in. Without you, the world would not be as it is, right? So you are an important piece to this world. There's an importance to remember that. You in your uniqueness, even the parts of you that you think are flaws, the parts of you that you think aren't right or you wish were different, ultimately, though, at the end of the day, those things are just as important to this world as anything else. And so it's important to remember that. So let's take a look at some tarot. We've got a bunch of tarot, and then we've got this oracle. I started with the oracle and the other piles, so I think maybe we'll do the same for you. I think that this continues till the edge, so we're good on space. Let's see what this oracle card says from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it says Ascension. Okay, so I think that there is some... Oh, and look, we got more birds here. So, and birds, flight, ascension, similar. Okay, so definitely what the birds want you to know is that they admire you. Right? From the higher perspective. It's ascension sometimes talks about seeing things from a higher perspective, and birds in general can talk about flying high to see things from larger scales. So there's a sense in this reading that that the way that the spirit sees you is as a beautiful being, every single part of you, right? The way that spirit sees you is an intimately important piece of the world around you. And they're inviting you to see yourself from this perspective in this reading. And this reading is almost, there's an importance in learning how to trust that you are who you are supposed to be, even now in this moment, even if you're not where you want to be, quote unquote, who you are as you are in this moment is enough. And that is the most important thing to remember about yourself here, that you are a deeply important piece of this world. That's the message I keep getting. So let's take a look at some tarot here. We've got 4 cards from the Smith-Waite deck. We have the 9 of Wands, the Page of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and the Strength. Okay. So there's a sense in this reading of being open to embracing your own vulnerability. That's what I'm hearing. So you embracing your own vulnerability can allow you to bring your strengths to others, not just to other people, but also to other what am I trying to say? It's like by you being vulnerable and open to the world as you are, you create an opening for more authentic expression to exist in the world. Whether or not you inspire others to do so, it's like there's like this opening I'm seeing here. Let me try to explain what I'm seeing. It's almost like the more people, you and me and anyone else included, who choose to present into the world as themselves authentically, in this sort of sense of being very vulnerable about it, not caring so much about what other people think, but celebrating the things that you have to offer and being open to sharing those with the world, even if it's not like a one-to-one, somebody sees you and is inspired by you, although I think that that's possible from this. I think there's something even larger going on. It's almost like it opens up the possibility for the world to express itself in that fashion, right? Because you are a piece of this world. If you express yourself as you are in a comfortable fashion in that way, like if you're comfortable in that, if you're strong in your sense of self, even though you've been through difficult situations in the past, being open about that vulnerability, it creates pathways for the universe to express itself as itself and not as 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 a copy of something else. I'm just, for whatever reason, I'm thinking about how, and this is kind of a tangent, but I think it probably plays something to do with this. I'm thinking about how in certain films and things right now, in the way things are, it seems like everything that's being made, not everything, but a lot of what's being made is something that already exists, right? It's recreating something from the 80s, or recreating TV series, or refilming movies, or renewing books, that kind of thing. It's like it's a dulling down of the authenticity, and a continuation of former things. So it's like they're a copy of a copy of a copy. And even I'm thinking about, with some of the AI generated art, and the ChatGPT stuff, which I actually kind of personally enjoy and I think is really interesting, and is really cool. But if you think about it, it is, in a sense, it's a rehashing of things that have already existed. The machine takes things that already exist and cuts them up and puts them back together in different ways, right? In a sense, that's what we do. But the you that is the unique you, expressing itself authentically, that has never existed before. That is entirely new and unique to this universe. It puts into the world a sense of novelty, that is deeply important, right? Because we need a continuation of new. There's only so much mirror of the past that can be reflected before it breaks down, to the point where it can't be repeated anymore. There's only so many times you can remake something before that expression has lost any of the meaning that once existed behind it, that was the important part to begin with. And so there's a sense here of, by you embracing your vulnerabilities and not attempting to present yourself as something that has already existed, as someone else, as something else, but by being fully and authentically yourself, you give the gift of a new expression to the world itself, which then allows the world to continue creating new things instead of getting lost in reflections of the past, if that makes sense. This is an interesting message that I'm channeling here, and not what I was expecting to be saying, but there is a real importance here in. It's interesting. I've never considered that before. That by us expressing our authentic selves, we are introducing novelty into the universe, into the world, and that novelty is actually an important integral part of the universe multiplying and continuing itself. And without that novelty, we wouldn't have anything, right? So if you think about those AI generating machines, they wouldn't have anything without the collective works of humanity. And so if we stopped creating works, there would be nothing to emulate and to recreate and to continue. And so a bit of a part of how our culture is lost in the moment is through this recreation mechanism. We've lost the novelty of new expression, in a sense. I don't think it's completely lost. I think everybody's doing something, there's a lot of that. That's the human me speaking. But if we are too afraid to express ourselves independently and uniquely because it doesn't fit the mold, it's not what people are looking for, the algorithm wants me to do X, Y, and Z, so I have to do X, Y, and Z because that's what the algorithm wants. Those kinds of thinking. That's going to end uh, in a failure for all of us. And so the red-winged blackbird wants you to sing your own song. That's what I'm hearing. Sing your own song. Don't be afraid to be unique. Don't be afraid to express yourself as you, because that's what you have to offer this world, not what the world has seen a million times. So there's an importance in that message. Let's keep looking at the cards. I have some cards here from the Wild Unknown Tarot. We have Judgment. Look at some more birds coming here with that Judgment card. The Fool, another bird. The Chariot, okay. And the Two of Pentacles. Not a bird, but a butterfly. Still some wings. Definitely a lot of air energy coming in here. Okay, so pile number 3. You do have a new beginning that's open to you here. Because you have the Fool and the Page of Cups, if you decide to express yourself authentically in the world, there may be a little bit of a sense of growing pains here, because there's something new about it, right? There's something new about it. Now, with the Judgment, and it's cool. These actually, all of these reflect. Wow, I didn't even mean to do this, but take a look. Let's take a look at how each one of these cards are reflecting each other here. That is incredible. Okay, so first of all, you have Strength with the Infinity sign, and you have the Two of Pentacles with the Infinity sign. So there's a sense of continuation here. There's a sense of balance, but there's a sense of infinite possibility that's open to you. We have the Page of Cups, which talks about starting something new, and we have the Fool, which talks about starting something new. So these two are reflecting one another. We can see that the Nine of Wands, which talks about having been through the battles of the past, knowing that maybe you have to battle more in the future, but growing from the strength of your past battles. The Judgment talks about thinking about your past situations, thinking about what's come before you, thinking about the things that have happened in your past that have brought you to where you are, and a new perspective on past situations based on recouping and recalibrating your own personal strengths based on new understandings. So it's almost like there's a moment here with the Judgment to take a look at everything that you've been through, to take a look at these past challenges and to see them from the new perspective that you've gained based on the wisdom that you have now. And how can you take the wisdom that you currently have and apply it to past situations? How can you reframe the situations that you've been through, the past challenges, the past situations? How can you reframe them in your mind in a way that allows you to let go of the difficulties that have come before you and start to see yourself as the strong, incredible being that you are? And so now that you have this wisdom and this strength, how can you take that and apply it to your own authentic expression of self here? And this new beginning that's coming in with the Fool and the Page of Cups it's an opportunity to express yourself in a way that makes you happy here, and with the fish coming out of the cup and the Page of Cups, that talks about the subconscious mind. So it's almost like making friends with your subconscious mind, whereas in the past maybe you had some negative self-talk continuing yourself forward that was unconscious. I think maybe with the Judgment card here too, there's a moment of reframing these modalities of thinking, these modalities of being, into a place of understanding where you're able to reconnect to who you actually are in a free sense, unchained from the burdens of the situations that have come before you, in a brand new state of self. And as you do this, I think there's some swift, fast-moving action towards real self-satisfaction, a real sense of accomplishment, realizing that, that you've actually achieved quite a bit in your life so far. And these past battles have given you some incredible strength, some incredible intuitive ability potentially that just popped into my head, but some incredible understanding of self, of the world, and that understanding can then be applied to your current life in such a way that actually makes you happy, actually brings you a sense of peace and a sense of accomplishment into your life, and not a sense of challenge and difficulty. And now with the Two of Pentacles and the Strength card, there's a sense here that you are taking a balanced approach to life in a way where maybe there was black and white thinking before, where maybe it was all or nothing, or everything had to be a certain way for you to be able to take steps and take actions and take movements. I think now there's a sense that you have the ability to balance your life a little bit more, to take things one step at a time, to take things as they are, to not have to go all out in one direction and then seesaw to the other direction. It's like there's now a sense of calm, of balance as you prioritize your own peace and your own well-being and your own happiness here. And it all comes back to that authentic expression of self. Don't be afraid to express yourself as you are. I think maybe in the past there have been situations that have led you to feel as though you need to shut yourself down, you need to stop being a certain way, you need to stop presenting a certain way. Well, if you take this higher perspective here that's being offered to you through the birds, there's a sense of seeing yourself as an integral part of the world around you, and not in like a super egotistical way. You're not more important than anybody else. It's you're an important piece as everyone else is, right? And so it's like seeing and celebrating yourself for the important person that you are, just as everyone else has their own important piece to play together, and that we do this together as a collected group of people on this planet at this time, and you are just as important as anyone else who exists here. No one is more important than you, and you are not more important than anyone. It's that we're all equally, integrally important as we are here in this moment. Yeah, so I'm going to leave you there, pile number 3. I think that's as much as it needs to be. So trust yourself, trust your own intuition, trust your own being. You have this. There's an importance, as I was saying, of that authentic voice of yours. Say what you need to say. Maybe there's actual public speaking for you, or some kind of singing, or some kind of speech, some kind of writing, something where you're expressing yourself, and your expression is needed, and it's important in this world, and it's here for a reason. So use it, express it, be it. Share yourself, share your life with the world, because the world needs it and is waiting to hear it. Something about what you have to say is unique and is important and is needed. And it has nothing to do with what other people have said before, and it has nothing to do with the way that made people famous in the past or any of that kind of stuff. It's more about who you are and what you need to say as you. And that is where your success lies, because that is who you are and is what is needed from you in this world. So anyway, pile number 3, that's it from me. I hope that you enjoyed that reading. I got pretty deep, so hopefully there's something in there for you. Let me know what you think in the comments either way. I love hearing from everybody. I'm not doing private readings currently, but maybe I'll start them again at some point. But you can still reach me on the website at www.junojerome.com. And that's it for me. I'll catch you later. Bye.